overworking the problem. And then the next question. And because this whole idea that the president of the United States is going to be the one guiding us to finding a vaccine for this, or the orders we have. Think about it. All you have to do is listen to a Biden commercial. It's going to lock down the country. Okay, he's going to do that. The kids are going to learn virtually. We're going to. So he wants to press, and it's going to be a national mandate. Listen to him. He says that I will do this across the nation. We will do it from Washington. That is so contrary to the structure of the government. The national government should never tell.
But it's exactly
school district what they should do.
It's exactly what the Democrats have been talking about for years. Hillary Clinton wanted to federalize everything. Oh, she'd always talk about, well, we have this patchwork of laws. Every state has their own laws. Yes, it's called federalism, Hillary. She hated it. She always wanted to nationalize everything. That is the type of government that we fought a revolution to prevent.
Oh, it's also the type of government that we fought 2 world wars to get rid of, because that's exactly the kind of governments that were in Germany and Italy and Japan that we fought against. That's exactly what it was. And I think that's the thing people forget. Of course, we don't teach history. I'm doing some research right now. I've got a nonprofit that I've had laid dormant for years called Serious Civics for America, and it's one focused on it. All of the civics education out there right now, all the efforts are focused on the K-12. And my view is that we need to focus on college and above. We have American citizens walking around that don't know this stuff.
Right.
We have adults raising kids that don't know it. And so this goes back 10 years ago when I had that woman in that coffee shop in Sioux City say, hey, you're that radio guy. We need a lesson in civics. That's where I said, what? No, that's what she said. She said, you talk about stuff I remembered from school. And I said, I really do. I think we need to have a lesson in civics. And that's what started me down this path towards what I call serious civics. And that to me, Mike, is what's really missing, is we have people that don't have any idea what the 3 branches of government are.
No, you're right.
They don't know they don't know the Constitution. They don't know the ordinal document of all time, which is the Declaration of Independence. They don't understand. They don't know who fought in the Revolutionary War. They don't know who fought in World War II. They don't know because they're not being taught. And I'm doing this research because I think it's important to be able to demonstrate that K-12, I'll give them that. They're fighting hard to do that. But I tell you, it's the parents of those kids in school that need this education every bit as much as the kids do.
Oh, I think you're right. I stumped a young college graduate this summer. Did you hear what I said? A college graduate in their 20s. They were telling me what was in the Constitution. Oh, yes, this is constitutional. What this guy was quoting to me were Supreme Court decisions. And Supreme Court decisions, to my mind, are not necessarily in the Constitution. That is a judicial interpretation. But every time the Supreme Court speaks, we have, oh, yes, it's in the Constitution. It's in the Constitution if the elected representatives of the country vote a certain way and have the executive sign that. Then it's in the Constitution. A Supreme Court decision, to my mind, is not constitutional. It has nothing to do with the will of the people, and it has something to do with the will of the judiciary. And they're vastly, vastly different. And the Supreme Court is an anachronism to another time. But anyway, I stumped this kid, young guy, throwing all this constitutional stuff at me. And I just stopped him and I said, who's the vice president of the United States? I got nothing. This is a true story. Who's the vice president of the United States? Didn't know. Had no idea.
Well, I used to give a test in my classes, an economics class, and I would go through that. So name the representative, name who your county supervisor is, those kind of things. And I would get blank pieces of paper back. People didn't even know who the president of the United States was. and I stopped giving the test because I was so depressed.
I bet you did.
I was so depressed because, nobody, how do you not know these things? And so I just, how many congressional districts are in your state? They didn't even know what I was talking about. This is the national government. They need to know as much about the state government. They need to know, how their state is structured. Do you have townships? Do you have county structures? Do you have, how many special districts do you have in your state? That I used to know all these numbers right off the top of my head. I think it's still 89,000. There are 89,000 separate jurisdictions in the United States. 79,000, 89,000. 89,000. And then you start going, so what do you have? You have one national government, 50 state governments, 6 territorial governments, 3,300 counties. And then the rest of those deal with special districts of some kind, school districts, water districts. You have land management districts, all of those things, and those are usually one or two things that are tied together. But you think about that, the only governments that we really worry about or think about are national, state. Then you go down to county, local. Then you can have city commissions and county commissions, and then that is it. And you think about that, then the rest of them are special districts. But 89,000 jurisdictions in the country. That's incredible.
That is incredible.
Most people don't know that.
I didn't. 89,000? No, I didn't.
89,000. That's correct.
What's your book entitled anyway? Did you say? Civics.
Serious Civics for America.
You get me a copy as soon as you're done with it.
I shall indeed. By the way, I just got Carter Page's book, Abuse and Power.
Yeah.
And in fact, Carter and I were texting back and forth yesterday. I started reading it, couldn't put it down. It is the inside story about how he was framed and all of the things and the potential of things that may come from his being scarfed up in that incredible Steele dossier, and led to all of us being ruined by the Russia.
And the national press just had a field day. Oh, Trump is talking about a deep state. How dumb is Trump for suspecting a deep state? I mean, and they offer no apology. They were so horribly wrong time after time, and completely ignored the facts in front of them. But, oh, yeah, Trump's an idiot. Sam, we're going to have to go, but I thank you.
All right.
I certainly wish you good health, and we look forward to seeing you actually in the studio one of these days, okay?
Not far away, Mike.
Thank you, sir. This is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge.
Always get your go-to with the new $10 Tastemaker from Pizza Hut. A large pizza with up to 3 toppings for just $10. Choose contactless delivery or curbside pickup at pizzahut.com. Price higher in some locations. Limited time offer. Availability of contactless curbside and delivery areas. Charges and minimums vary. Delivery charge not tipped.
Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green, the iconic cleaning formula known around the globe. Try a Simple Green product today, and if you're not 100% satisfied, I'll refund your money. Visit us at simplegreen.com.
Simple Green. Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
From the Jerry Sheeter Newsroom, I'm Rob Jones. The sentencing of a Fort Dodge teenager has been delayed until October. 17-year-old Tate Martinson was in court earlier this week expecting to be sentenced, but the judge delayed the sentencing. Martinson was charged and has pleaded guilty to first-degree robbery. The charge stems from his role in the robbery and shooting death of 28-year-old Sioux Falls, South Dakota resident Muhammad Yoab. Allegedly, Martinson and co-conspirator Damian Chavez of Fort Dodge robbed Yoab during a drug deal, and Chavez then allegedly shot Yoab. The incident happened in October of last year on A Street West near the Tom Thumb restaurant here in Fort Dodge. Martinson is being charged as an adult in the case, but the court is evaluating several factors in the case, including whether Martinson should be sentenced as an adult. Even when someone under 18 is charged as an adult, they may or may not be sentenced as harshly as an adult. Martinson is due back in court October 13th to be sentenced. A body was found earlier this week floating in the Cedar River. Around 8:30 Monday morning, members of the Waverly Police and Fire Department recovered the body of a man from the Cedar River in Waverly. Police say the deceased man has been positively identified by a family member. However, his identity will not be released until all necessary notifications have been made. The deceased was transported to the state medical examiner's office for further investigation. The Community Health Center of Fort Dodge will offer expanded hours over the holiday weekend for COVID-19 testing. Their COVID-19 clinic, which administers a rapid result test, will be open this Saturday, Sunday, and Labor Day Monday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you're experiencing COVID-19 symptoms or have been exposed to someone who has tested positive, call 515-576-6500 to make an appointment. Week 1 of high school football is in the books, and the rankings are out for week number 2. The South Central Calhoun Titans maintain the number 2 spot in Class 1A after a win to open the season 14-0 over Carroll Kemper. The Titans will take on Greene County on the road Friday night in a game you can hear on 105.9 The Beach. The Greene County Rams are not ranked, but they are in the others receiving votes category after a convincing win over Perry in week number 1. Also in 1A, Southeast Valley, not ranked, but in the others receiving votes category after a 54-0 win at Clark to open the season. South Hamilton, also in the others receiving votes category, still sitting atop the 1A poll, is defending 2A state champions OAB-CIG. They beat Ridgeview 42-0 last week. In Class A, the St. Edmund Gales find themselves in the poll for the first time this season. They're sitting at number 10 after not being ranked in the preseason. Gales coming off a convincing win against Eagle Grove in week 1. They'll have their home opener Friday night, taking on Clarion Goldfield Downs at Dodger Stadium in a game you can hear on Sunny 99.7. In the 8-player class, Audubon remains number 3 after a blowout victory in week number 1. Newell Fonda, 7th in the 8-player class after a convincing win in week number 1. Fort Dodge football has now found an opponent for this week. The Dodgers had to replace Mason City, who suspended football operations earlier this week after members of their coaching staff were exposed to COVID-19. The Dodgers will now take on Sioux City East. That game will be played at Sergeant Bluff High School. You can hear the game, a 6:45 pregame, a 7 p.m. kickoff Friday night on 92 Rock and online at yourfortdodge.com. That's your Alpha Media News Update from the Jerry Sheeter Newsroom. I'm Rob Jones.
Here's the AM 1400 KVFD weatherology forecast. Sunny skies and calm this afternoon with highs around 76. Winds out of the northwest 15 to 20 miles per hour. Lows around 48. Tonight, clear skies. Ample sunshine expected. Tomorrow, highs around 84. Temps well above average Saturday and Sunday with highs in the upper 80s. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 76.
Here's a look at how the markets closed today. September corn down 5 1/4 at 344 1/2. December down a nickel at 353 3/4. March corn down 4 1/2 at 364 3/4. May down 4 1/4 at 371 1/2. September soybeans up 6 1/4 at 968 3/4. November up 4 cents to close at 966. January up 4 cents at 972 1/4, and March beans up 3 cents at 972 3/4. September wheat down 4 1/2 at 543 1/4. Soybean meal up 2.90 a ton at 305.20. October live cattle down 55 cents at 103.92. December down 62 at 107.82. September feeders down 110 at 137.60. October down 112 at 138.32. October lean hogs up 285 at 59 1/4. December up 147 at 57.97. I'm Dwayne Murley.
Introducing eggs and peanuts to babies when they're able to eat solid foods is showing promise in reducing the risk of those children becoming allergic. I'm Julie Harker, and this is Healthy Living on Brownfield. For the first time, the Expert Advisory Committee for the Dietary Guidelines for Americans says introducing eggs to babies can help reduce the risk of allergies to eggs in later life. Dr. Mickey Rubin with the Egg Nutrition Center says the same goes for peanuts.
When you look at the research on early introduction, the science is strongest for peanuts and eggs. And so they put those two up front in terms of where the research has shown that early introduction of peanuts or peanut-containing foods and eggs has shown to reduce the risk of an allergy to those foods later in life.
Rubin says it was previously recommended that parents and caregivers avoid feeding babies eggs or peanuts for fear that would cause an allergic reaction. But Rubin says the scientific evidence on that has changed.
My kids aren't that old, it kind of feels like just a decade ago where we were having, these conversations about feeding our kids, and that's how fast this has happened. It's really a paradigm shift that we're not you're not supposed to restrict these allergens anymore like we thought so many not too long ago. Now it's early introduction is best.
I'm Julie Harker with Healthy Living on Brownfield.
This is Brad Keselowski, driver number 2, Discount Tire Ford Mustang. Racing fans know that a quick pit stop to check the tires can give me the winning edge. The same is true for your car. Proper tire tread helps keep traction on the road in everyday driving. To check your tread, simply insert a penny